My father was the toughest person in my life. And when I found out about The Secret, when that came out all those years ago, and Law of Attraction, when we were just trying to understand this, I thought I'd start experimenting on it with my father, of all people. But before I get into our story, remember part one, how I was having the meltdown at my job, and I was in that very low vibration. And I remember leaving work one day. This is when we had the combi, and the combi was parked outside in the car park. And I remember leaving work feeling very low, and the combi was just across the road. But in this low state that I was in, oh my gosh, taking responsibility for the energy that you are, but understanding it first. And I had no idea about energy at all way back then. So I was in this low state, low frequency, poor me, don't want to be here anymore, don't know what's going on, life sucks, etc. And I remember stepping out of the building onto the footpath, and down the road, oh, oh no, 100 meters or so, way down the road, there were three people coming up. And as soon as they saw me, I remember the three of them all at the same time just looked straight at me all at once. There was one girl and two guys, and they started walking faster. And I didn't know what I could feel something was going to happen. So I actually ran across the road. They started running up towards me. I fiddled around trying to get the keys open the door for the combi. Finally got in and locked the door. Then I turned and faced the front, and the three of them were just standing outside the combi looking in the window. But they'd seen me lock the door, and then they walked off. Now, back then, that made me feel worse, like, oh, my life sucks, etc. But I attracted them to me, understanding now the way that energy works. So, being in such a low state, I attracted even more circumstances, experiences to me to help keep me in that low vibrational state. Okay, now I just wanted to share that because you know me, I'm all about energy and understanding it and working with it, experimenting with it, which I'm going to share with you next. My experiments with Dad. So, Dad, he we always butted heads. We always butted heads. And he used to put me down. So being in that low state, okay, getting even more back to keep myself in that low energy. He'd put me down. He'd tell me I'd never amount to much. I was hopeless, worthless, etc. And as a kid, I took that on. I believed it. This is from my parents. Oh my God, I am hopeless. I am worthless. I'm not going to amount to much. If you've got someone in your life like that, you need to know right now that they're coming from a place where they're at, and their opinions have absolutely nothing to do with you. See, I didn't understand that back then, so I took it on. Okay. So, this is why I wanted to experiment with my father with this new energy, world of energy that I was just finding out about. I couldn't believe it. So, being humiliated and intimidated by him on a regular basis. And so it was scary for me to see him, to even talk with him. But when I found out about, I'm putting this energy out myself, it's going to affect the way that I get energy back. And I thought, right, I want to experiment with this on Dad. So I remember thinking to myself, I actually made three sticky notes, stuck them by the phone that hung on the wall. None of these mobile phones back then. Okay, so the phone's on the wall. First sticky note said, speak with love. Second one said, smile, because when you're smiling, your words change when you're smiling. Okay. And the last one said, fake it till you make it. So those are the three reminders I had. And I thought, I'm going to ring Dad. I'm going to go through this and I'm going to play and see what happens. But I was freaking out. I didn't want to talk with him. I didn't want to be put down by him again. I didn't want to be growled and I didn't want to hear his angry voice. And I was nervous. I was really scared inside. I'm like, oh God, I really don't want to do this. But I really do want to experiment. I want to see if this is true, if this is real. So I took deep breaths. I built myself up, speak with love, smile, fake it till you make it. You can do this. But inside, I'm like, no. So this is the nervous system. Okay. We'll get into nervous system work a bit later on. So I rang Dad, and he answers, hello. And he's just constant grumpy. Okay. Hello. And I said, hi, how are you going? Fake smile, but the words sounded, happy. And he goes, look, I'm busy. I've got to tend to the sheep. And he hung up. And I thought, right. And I was like freaking out. I'm like, oh my God, I did it. But I did it. And I thought, right, I'm going to try again in a couple of days. So 2 days later, I tried it again. Ring up. He answers, hello. Hi, what you up to? He goes, what are you doing? You never ring. Why are you ringing me now? I'm busy. And he hung up. And I'm like, oh, far out. So every single time my nervous system is getting used to this new me. Usually around dad, I was always, you know, hiding. Poor me. Don't put me down, please, etc. So that lower energy was changing. My nervous system had to readjust to this new pretend energy I was trying to embody, and I wouldn't stop. So another 2 days later, I ring up again. Hello. Hi, it's just me checking in to see how you're going. And he was a swearer. So for sake, why are you ringing me all the time? I'm working on the farm. I'm doing all this. And I said, I just wanted to check in and have a chat. And he goes, well, I've got to tend to the chickens now. He goes, is that all right? And he's got his angry voice going. I said, yeah, that's fine. I'll let you go then. I'll catch up with you later. And then he hangs up. And by this time, I'm feeling a bit more comfortable with this game that I'm playing. It became a game because I knew what I was doing. He had no idea. He was just being dad, and no one could change dad in a million years. You can never change another person, never. Okay, they've got to do all this by themselves, only if they want to. And well, dad. So a couple of days later, again, hello. Oh, when he answered like that, I thought, this is working. He wasn't hello grumpy. He was a nicer hello. I said, hi, how are you going? And we had a little conversation. It might have been about 40 seconds long, but it was a conversation. He talked about the garden, the animals, because he had a 5-acre farm, his hobby farm, and all the bits and pieces he was doing. And he didn't hang up on me. He actually said bye and then hung up. Okay. Your young ones won't understand the slamming down of a phone because you've got a button. Okay. But yeah, having that slam in your ear, that's an energy, right? But, by this time, I'm thinking, this stuff works. I changed me. I changed the way I was being towards my father. And I kept at it. And he started changing as well. So, and I know we're getting into Reiki, all right, but this is part of my journey of understanding mindset, understanding energy, understanding myself before Reiki came along. Oh, then it's going to get crazy exciting, I tell you. But being aware of the type of person that you want to be around other people in your life, around different experiences that you might have, for example, at work, with your children, with your partner. everything, absolutely everything. With your confidence, with your love, with the way that you talk or you hold words in, everything is energetic and vibration. So start experimenting with that. And if you want some tools that you can use to experiment with, they're all completely free at the moment. Okay. I'll put a link down below so you can check them out if you like. It's called Life Energetics. I'll also put a link in the comments, which is there now, to part 1 of this little journey that I'm sharing with you now. And when I come back, I'll make another video, this time getting more into Reiki. All right. If you have any questions or any comments, please drop them down below. If this has helped you in some way or another, or if you think you're going to experiment with this, smile, speak with love, fake it till you make it, have a go. Work on you. That's the only person you can ever work on is your own energy. So have fun with the energy that you absolutely are.